Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change how you think about this winter. We are staring down the barrel of a winter season that's going to remind a lot of you of 2013. And if you remember that winter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're looking at a pattern that's going to deliver above normal snowfall across massive portions of the United States. Starting in just days and stretching all the way into March, this isn't your typical winter forecast. This is something different, something bigger. Let me start with what's happening right now, because the clock is ticking. Within the next 7 days, we're going to see the first major Arctic blast of the season slam into the Midwest and Great Lakes. I'm talking about bone-chilling cold that's going to drop temperatures 15 to 25 degrees below normal across states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, and Ohio. This isn't a quick shot of cold air that moves through in 48 hours. No, this is the beginning of a pattern that's going to dominate our weather for months. The polar vortex is going to become unstable, and when that happens, all bets are off. Cities like Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, and Cleveland need to prepare for what's coming by the end of November. Now let's talk about late November, because this is where things get absolutely wild. As we push through Thanksgiving week and into the final days of the month, the first significant winter storm of the season is going to develop. The models are showing a massive nor'easter potential that could dump 1 to 2 feet of snow across interior New England. We're talking about places like Worcester, Massachusetts, Hartford, Connecticut, and Albany. New York seeing legitimate snowfall totals that could rival some of the biggest storms from that legendary 2013-2014 winter. The timing is still being worked out, but the pattern is locked in. Boston could see 8 to 14 inches. New York City might catch 6 to 10 inches. And Philadelphia is looking at 4 to 8 inches from this first major system, by the way. If you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you liked the video and subscribed to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. But the Northeast isn't the only region that needs to be paying attention. The Appalachian Mountains from West Virginia through Virginia and into North Carolina are going to get absolutely hammered with mountain snow throughout late November. We could easily see 2 to 3 feet in the higher elevations. Places like Snowshoe, West Virginia, and Boone, North Carolina are going to be buried. And for the Ohio Valley, cities like Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Cincinnati are looking at their first accumulating snows of the season arriving right around Thanksgiving weekend. With potential totals of 3 to 6 inches, December is when this winter really shows its teeth. The atmospheric river that's been feeding moisture into the country is going to link up perfectly with Arctic air masses that keep pouring down from Canada. This is the exact recipe that gave us the relentless winter of 2013, and we're seeing the same signals now. The Great Lakes are going to become snow-making machines. Buffalo, Syracuse, Erie, and Cleveland are all looking at lake effect events that could produce multiple feet of snow throughout the month. I'm forecasting Buffalo to see 60 to 90 inches of snow in December alone. That's not a typo. When those lake effect bands set up and don't move, that's when you get these astronomical totals. The Midwest is going to be dealing with storm after storm. Chicago is looking at a December snowfall total of 25 to 35 inches, which would be well above their normal of 11 inches. Minneapolis and the Twin Cities could see 35 to 45 inches throughout December. With multiple clipper systems racing through combined with bigger, more organized storm systems, Denver and the Front Range are going to cash in as well. With December totals potentially reaching 40 to 50 inches in the city, and much more in the foothills and mountains, the pattern in December is going to feature what we call a split-flow jet stream. This means we're going to have moisture streaming in from the Pacific on a southern branch, while the northern branch keeps diving down with Arctic air. When these two jets phase together, that's when we get our blockbuster storms. I'm seeing multiple opportunities for major snowstorms across the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast during December. We could easily see 3 to 4 significant events, each capable of dropping 6 to 12 inches across major metropolitan areas, cities along the I-95 corridor need to be on high alert throughout December. Washington, D.C. is looking at 15 to 25 inches for the month, which would be significantly above their average of 5 inches. Baltimore could see 20 to 30 inches. Philadelphia is looking at 25 to 35 inches. New York City could accumulate 30 to 40 inches throughout December. And Boston might see 40 to 50 inches when you factor in the coastal storms and interior snow events. These aren't just flurries we're talking about. These are legitimate, travel-disrupting snowstorms that are going to impact millions of people. Now, let's talk about the northern plains and the Dakotas, because this region is going to be absolutely relentless this winter. Fargo, Bismarck, and Sioux Falls are looking at December totals that could exceed 40 inches. The cold is going to be historic at times, with multiple days where temperatures don't climb above 0 degrees. This is reminiscent of what we saw in January 2014, when the polar vortex split and sent temperatures plummeting across the entire eastern two-thirds of the country. January is going to be the heart of winter, and it's going to feel like it. This is when the pattern really digs in and refuses to let go. The cold is going to be pervasive and persistent. We're looking at a month where large portions of the country stay below normal temperatures for weeks on end. The Ohio Valley and Great Lakes are going to see 30 to 45 inches of snow during January. Chicago could pick up another 25 to 30 inches. Detroit might see 30 to 35 inches. Cleveland could accumulate 35 to 45 inches when you factor in lake effect. The Northeast is going to continue getting pounded. January is typically one of the snowiest months for this region, and this year is going to be no exception. In fact, it's going to exceed expectations. Boston is looking at 35 to 45 inches in January. Portland, Maine could see 40 to 50 inches. Burlington, Vermont might accumulate 45 to 55 inches. These are the kinds of numbers that make January 2011 and January 2014 look tame in comparison. The Mid-Atlantic isn't getting off easy either. The storm track is going to be favorable for significant snow events throughout January. We could see 2 to 3 major storms that each drop 8 inches or more across the region. Washington, D.C. might pick up another 22-25 inches in January. Baltimore could see 25 to 30 inches. Philadelphia is looking at 25 to 35 inches. Even areas that don't typically see major snow, like Richmond, Virginia, and Raleigh, North Carolina, could pick up 10 to 15 inches during the month from 1 or 2 significant events. The mountains of the West are going to be absolutely loaded. The Sierra Nevada could see 12 to 18 feet of snow throughout January. The Rockies from Colorado through Wyoming and Montana are looking at similar numbers in the higher elevations. Salt Lake City could pick up 40 to 50 inches during January. Reno might see 30 to 40 inches. These are the kinds of totals that ski resorts dream about. But they also mean travel disruptions and avalanche dangers. February is when things get interesting because this is typically when we start to see the pattern begin to break down. But not this year. The cold is going to maintain its grip well into February, and the snow is going to keep coming. This is exactly what happened in 2013-2014, when February delivered multiple massive snowstorms across the East Coast and the winter just refused to end. We're seeing similar signals this year. The Great Lakes are going to continue their assault in February. Lake effect snow events are going to remain frequent and intense. Buffalo could see another 40 to 50 inches in February alone. Syracuse might pick up 35 to 45 inches. These cities are looking at seasonal totals that could approach or exceed 200 inches. By the time winter finally releases its grip, the Northeast is going to see multiple big storms in February. This is prime nor'easter season, and with the pattern we're in, I'm expecting at least 2 major coastal storms that could each deliver a foot or more to major cities. Boston is looking at another 30 to 40 inches in February. New York City could see 25 to 30 inches. Providence might accumulate 30 to 35 inches. These February storms are going to be the ones, people. Remember, because they're going to come at a time when everyone is already exhausted from months of cold and snow. Alright, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, leave your region or city in the comments. I'll answer them individually as I have time. Commenting is completely free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.